Hello, everybody. We are back again for another day of purging. So today I decided that what I would like to purge, it's kind of like this mixed bag of stuff, and it comes under probably the label of reference points. And so I've mentioned reference points before, but I want to go deeper with this because I have so much attached to reference points. You know, those are the things in our lives that are like our guidelines that we have to fit into this box. Now, everybody has different reference points because of who they are, like who their family is, where their family came from, what their family did for a living or whatever. You know, it's like we all have these different reference points of what life is supposed to be like or what it has to look like. So it's just like a lie, really. It's like, this is what it has to be like. Well, bullshit. I can choose anything I want and I can create my life any way I want to create it. People make genetics such a huge friggin' deal. Like, this is, if your parents were like this, if they had this going on with them, then this is going to happen to you. And there are people that like so deeply believe that they create it in their body to prove that they can do it. Well, you can create pretty much anything you want in your body. I remember when I was in high school, I was, let me see, between my freshman and sophomore year. So it was during my freshman year of high school that a good friend of mine from like kindergarten, she broke her leg. She was on the ski team and was over at the Housen Hill. Well, she was a slalom skier and just messing around over on the jumps. And she fell off one of the jumps and broke the lower part of her leg, like the tibia, fibia, whatever that is. And in that day, breaking something like that was a super slow heal. And my friend had a cast on from her hip down to the tip of her toes for a year. And so she was on crutches. Well, freshman year, you know, I was the epitome of wallflower hiding from everybody. And here she is getting all of this attention because she was on crutches. And for whatever friggin' reason, I just like really got locked into how much fun it would be to be on crutches, how much attention and fun that might get me. And it was like, you know, it was just in my head that that would be something that would really be great. Well, guess what I did? And this is in the summertime, and I managed to, I will not go into the whole story of it because it was so stupid, but managed to break my femur. Yeah. And anyway, I ended up being on crutches for like 5 or 6 months. I can't remember, but mine was a so much better scenario than my friends. I never had a cast. I had a rod down the marrow of my bone, which was an experimental procedure at that time that had been brought over from, I think it was Germany. Anyway, but I never had a cast. And they had me trying to put small amounts of weight on my foot, like within, I don't know, a month or two after I broke my femur. But anyway, my point in telling you this story is that I know I created that. There was no friggin' reason. It was such a bizarre way to break my leg. There was just no friggin' reason that it ever would have happened like that. So you can create pretty much anything you want to create. Any kind of sickness, you can create it in your body. You can manifest it. But here's the good news. You can also completely eliminate it from your world. If you don't want it, you make a demand, you tell your body, nope, that's not my shit, that's theirs. Uncreate, destroy it all, return to centers. And then you don't have to own it, you don't have to be it, you don't have to carry that stigma that this is what it's going to be. You know, I know a lot of people whose parents died at a young age from whatever, whether it be cancer, heart attack, or whatever. And it was such a burden to them. Like they dreaded when they turned that age because it was so much in their world that they might die. And it's like, my gosh, why? I mean, even before I ever found the energy work that I'm involved in, long before that, I never bought that why. But these are reference points. These are reference points that we use, that if so-and-so has this, then I will have this. That if I do this, then this is going to happen. If I don't do this, then this is going to happen. These are our reference points that just drill it through us. And one of my biggest things, I think, is religion. I was raised Catholic. And, it just has never made sense to me how something that is supposed to be such a bright spot in your world can be the thing that you actually dread and dislike the most. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it's like in the Catholic religion, it was all about that we were like, and I know this is with every friggin' religion out there, that you've got it right. Nobody else does. That everybody else is probably still going to hell because, they're not doing it right. Only the Catholics were. And then my son had some friend and his mother tried to inform him that, yeah, even though he was baptized, he would never make it to heaven, but he might be able to go to like the lowest level of class in heaven. He might be able to go there, but that he would never be able to be on the same class level that she was, or that, blah, blah, blah. Only the people of their church were going to be there on those higher levels. Now, really? Do you suppose that Christ and Buddha and consciousness and Gandhi were teaching class systems in heaven? I know. To me, that's fucking absurd. I'm sorry. That's absurd. Oh my God. And seriously, would you really want to go to heaven and hang out with those people that have a stick so far up their ass that they can't hardly even smile? I mean, this is how my mind thinks about it. I just am like, for me, religion was used as a punishment. Every time my siblings, there were 6 of us, anytime we got into a scuffle, my father would pull out the belt. He had a harness ring. I was raised on a ranch, and so these things were readily available. He had a harness ring, so it was like, I don't know, 3-4 feet long, and he would roll it up and keep it in the drawer, but it was always very well oiled. He could crack it like a whip. But if any of us misbehaved, he would whip out that belt and he would beat us with it. Then he would make us kneel behind his chair. And he would tell us how many Hail Marys, how many Our Fathers, how many acts of contrition that we had to say. We had to say penance, and we had to sit back there on our knees behind his chair and do all of these prayers before we were finally like let out of jail. Now, seriously, I mean, I flippin' really was questioning religion in a big way, even though I was actually a catechism teacher for kindergartners and first graders at one point when I was in high school. But anything that brings up, or let's not, can we uncreate, destroy it all? Right, I'm going to bet on Paco 9 shorts, ways and beyond. So for me, I don't get religion. I have never liked it. I've always wondered why there's so many different kinds. In this town that I live in, when I first moved here about 12 years ago, it was around 14,000 people that live here. Now, you would think town that size, maybe 10, 15 churches, right? Oh, no, 68. When I moved here, 68. Yeah, right. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, granted, there was everything from Mennonite and Quaker religions to Baptist to evangelical, Catholic, Mormon, cowboy, new age. I mean, it was like, oh my God, this has got to be the most religious place I've ever been in my entire life. Fire and brimstone, I mean, you name it, this place has it. And then they all get pissed off at each other. So then they break it off and they form another little group. And then they break it off and form another little group because they can't get along. Again, it's like, how hypocritical is that? To me, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. It's like there has got to be a thread. If you were to go back to the very, very beginning, like back and back and back and back, there has to be this pure thread of what it is. And it has been so misinterpreted, twisted, turned by people, men, that were using it for their own personal gain and their own perspectives. And it's just like, it's completely lost anything that would even begin to draw me out. You know, I look at how judgmental Christians are, or whatever religions are. They all are very prejudiced against others' points of view. They all think that they know the right thing and that you are wrong, they are right. Everything is based on polarity of rightness and wrongness, black and white, heaven, hell. And it just sits so wrong with me. And it's all of that that was ingrained in me at such a young age coming forward, that still just, I come up against it all the time. And I would like to purge that. Any residual energies that I am still hanging on to with the religions and the points of views, the reference points that and the stratifications with other people. It was like you only associated with certain people. So all of that I bought as real and true for me, can I now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, uncreate, destroy it all, times a godzillion, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, put and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. I remember when my sister was killed. She was like jogging down a road, and a truck of high school boys that had been playing in the reservoir came around the corner, hit a rock, slid sideways, hit her. She was dead. Anyway, I remember when that happened, the priest came out, and like we were all just struggling to get through this, right? And my parents especially. My sister was like 31, I think, at that point. And so my father was trying so hard, you know, and he's like, well, maybe God just needed her. Maybe there was something more important that she needed to be doing, and that's why God called her back to him. And I'm happy to let him have that point of view. You know, what harm does it do? Well, this flippin' priest comes in, and he looks at my father and he goes, it is nothing more than a girl getting hit by a truck and dying. Our God would never take away a life to make it for his own gain. Well, you know, fuck you, buddy. You didn't have to say that. You could have let him believe something that gave him peace and gave him calm. But no. So that was another mark against the church in my book, keeping track. And then, you know, just the complete dismissal of all of my siblings and I. You know, he only spoke to my sister's husband and my parents. That was it. He never acknowledged any of the rest of us, never said a word to any of the rest of us, which also did not sit well for me. And then there was my my brother, who had this rather tumultuous marriage for a year or two, and they decided to go their different ways. They just clearly, if one of them was up, the other one drug him down, and it was like that always. It was a horrible marriage. So they finally just decided, yeah, let's move on. Then I had a cousin that her husband had PTSD and literally beat her unborn child out of her, or tried to. And anyway, she divorced him. Well, both cases, they still wanted to go to the Catholic Church. But you know what? No go. They would not, told my brother, no, he could not, receive the communion there because he was divorced. And then they told my cousin she had to fill out this gigantic questionnaire. I think it was like a 40-page questionnaire for her. Then she had to give it to like 4 other people to fill out. And that was like a 6-page questionnaire. And it was like intimate shit that they were asking about, right? So one, like, what the hell business is it of theirs? And secondly, it's like, why would you even care? I mean, seriously, these are a bunch of men that have never even been married. How can they counsel you on what life should look like? So it's like, I have all of these reference points that are so icky. And then a mother-in-law that turned around one day and informed me that the reason why they did not want my brother or my cousin in the Catholic Church is that they do not want just any riffraff in the church. Well, you know what? They would have been damn lucky to have my brother in that church. He is a good salt of the earth type person. He'd have anybody's back. He is kind, he's generous. And I was just beyond pissed. And I can say the exact same thing about my cousin. They were lucky that she ever even considered coming back to that church. I personally swore them off once and for all. You could not drag me into a church. I am not ever going to be part of that again. Exclusion is such an ugly, ugly thing. Have you ever been excluded? Whether it was when you were a little kid at recess or when you were something else. Why would you ever exclude someone because they think different than you? Why would you ever exclude somebody because they had an experience that was beyond their ability to change, or that they actually chose to change it and it didn't fit with your reference points of what the neat, perfect package looks like? Is it better to live a lie and make it look perfect? Or is it better to let that go and create something greater? So, I have a lot of friends that are still Catholic and think it's awesome, and that's cool. If it lights their world up, if it makes them happy, if it gives them what they require, more power to them. I don't care. I'm just saying my personal choice is I want nothing to do with religion, nothing of any religion, nothing. I am choosing to live my life by being the best possible person in contribution to the earth, the universe, to the people, the plants, the animals, all of it. That's what I'm choosing to be. And I don't have to have anybody tell me how to do that. I know how I can contribute to people. I know that anytime I am using judgment, anytime I'm using exclusion, I know that that is not working for me. So every lie, every judgment, every conclusion, concentricity, every limitation, linearity, every every definition that I have bought as real and true that keeps me limited and tied to the reference points of a different reality than what I am choosing. Can we now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, uncreate, destroy all of it, times the Godzillion plays, right and wrong, good and bad, put and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere that reference points are keeping me tied to an old way of thinking and being that limits me from being the greater possibility that I am choosing to be. Can we now uncreate and destroy all contracts and agreements, all oaths, vows, communities, fealties, all written, unwritten commitments and swearings, any courtings, any bindings, double bindings? Can we like uncreate, destroy all of that times a Godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere that I am not willing to see the truth within me, can we uncreate and destroy all of that times the Godzillion, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And all the jails of mediocrity, creating the dominance, equals MC squared, create the comfortable distance between me and my awareness. Can we uncreate, destroy it all times the Godzillion, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. All the jails of mediocrity, creating the dominance of equals MC squared, create the comfortable distance between me and my choice that I could be choosing. Can we uncreate, destroy all of that times the Godzillion, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. All the jails of mediocrity, creating the dominance, equals MC squared, to create the comfortable distance between me and the life I could be choosing. Can I uncreate, destroy all of that times the Godzillion, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere that I am unwilling to actually be the freedom and the choice and the awarenesses that will allow me to choose and be different than I've ever been before. Can we uncreate, destroy all of that times the Godzillion, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, put and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And everything that I have bought as real and true about religion and how it has to have all the right answers because nobody else could possibly have the right answer. Can we uncreate and destroy all of that times a Godzillion, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere that I have given up my awareness and my knowing to the automatic pilot of reference points and stratifications, can we uncreate, destroy all of that times the Godzillion, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere that I have given away my knowing, my awareness, and what is true for me so that I might fit in with the stratifications of what I think other people require me to be so that I can be seen and be heard. Can we now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, uncreate, destroy all of that times a Godzillion, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds, and all the ghillie suits of armor that I am using to hide behind, to hide all of my brilliance and knowing and possibilities beyond this reality. Can we now uncreate, destroy all of that times the Godzillion, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And let's just clear some of this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, expanding out even more. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 14, 15, 25, 10. Opening doors, 1, 2, 3, 4. Doors of new possibilities. Jumping tracks. And how else might I actually be now in the world melting all of those reference points. What beyond this reality, energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracle, mystery, and possibility can my body and I now be to melt the reference points of an old reality that no longer serves me with total ease? Uncreate, destroy all of that, and return to senders with consciousness attached, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pockle, nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Using 1, 2, 3 is just, it calls up an energy of change. So you can do it like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just to clean energy out of your body and send it back to the earth. The earth has no point of view about energy. It's not good or bad energy, it's just energy. You can send all of that energy that is not serving you and send it back to the earth and contribute to her. So try that. When you're feeling real blocked, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It just calls up the energy of change. And then you can always ask for 1, 2, 3, 4 to open a door of a different possibility and walk through it. And then expand yourself out and choose to be more. Boy, that feels so much better to just address that. And, like I said, if religion works for you, cool, go for it. I mean, I'm different. What my experiences have not led me to find any kind of refuge with that, any kind of contribution from that. Maybe it does do something for you. And so please choose what's light for you. Choose what lights you up. Ask your body, truth body, if I choose this, will it create greater awareness, greater consciousness in my life? Truth body, if I choose this, will it create more money in my life? I don't know. What is it that you're trying to create for your life? But choose it because it creates something greater in your life. Don't choose it based on the fact that it worked for somebody else. You are not somebody else. You are beautiful, magical, miraculous you. So hope you play with this a little bit more and see what else you can shift and change and move and not make yourself wrong for. It's just a choice. You can choose it or not. I don't care. And neither should anybody else. It's your life. You are the only one that has the right to choose for you. Do you hear me? You are the only one that has the right to choose for you. Sit with that for a while. Adore you. Thank you so very, very much for coming to play.